Rated M for mature. EA.com presents a suspense thriller that goes beyond your imagination.
We're gonna kill you if you don't stop.
I think they're in on it.
So real.
Here's a little piece of advice.
So hauntingly personal.
I'm afraid to leave the building.
It invades your life.
We saw them wheel the body out.
And once it's there, it never leaves. Majestic. It plays you.
In the year 2001, EA released an ambitious game named Majestic. Named after an alleged secret government organization believed by UFO conspiracy theorists called Majestic 12. Majestic launched July 31st, 2001 on PC exclusively. It was a subscription-based game that cost $9.99 a month, which at the time was still a rather novel concept. World of Warcraft was released in 2004, which has been cited as the game that popularized the model. The game was to come out in seasons. Each season had 5 episodes. The first episode was free to play. After that, you had to pay a monthly fee to get access to the other 4 episodes. A second season was never made. The game was inspired by a call Neil Young heard on a conspiracy radio show called Coast to Coast. The show was famous as Art Bell would not screen the callers on his live radio show. On a recurring segment where people who are government and military employees can call and give away secrets, the caller claimed to be a former Area 51 employee. In an interview with Saloon magazine, Young said, "As a listener, I couldn't tell if it was real or fictional or coincidental. It led me to think that the internet is such a fabulous medium to blur those lines between fact and fiction and conspiracy. Because you begin to make connections between things. It's a natural human reaction. We connect the dots around our fear." This is what sparked Majestic. The tagline for the game was, "The game that plays you." They did this by incorporating phone calls, faxes, and AIM messages. They created several fake websites dedicated to conspiracies within the game to immerse the players. The core gameplay was solving puzzles. When users signed up, they were prompted to include their AIM messaging ID, phone number, and fax number. Throughout the day, players would receive messages from characters in-game giving clues and further deepening the conspiracies within the game. Upon starting the game, users would receive an error message. It would read this: "Dear Majestic players, due to a fire at our Anime X Studios, we at Electronic Arts are forced to suspend the online game Majestic until further notice. We are currently doing everything in our power to restore services as soon as possible. We will keep you informed of our progress. In the meantime, please follow development on this website at the Portland Chronicle website." Users then had access to a TV clip via the Majestic Hub.
Unnamed sources at the scene stated that Animex, who was contracted by Electronic Arts to produce an online game called Majestic, had allegedly missed many deadlines, was far behind schedule, in debt, and dangerously close to losing its EA contract. Nothing authorities have found at the scene could be considered evidence of arson, but with Animex's apparent financial troubles coming to light, local officials are not ruling out the possibility that this tragedy was an elaborate insurance scheme gone wrong. For now, all that is known is that 1 man is dead and 4 others are missing. Reporting from Beaverton, Oregon, this is Hillary Scott.
Throughout the game, players would receive messages and calls from different characters. The puzzles were answers to questions that could be found by searching the web. EA created tons of websites for backstories on conspiracies in the game. The game's progression was blocked by having to wait for calls, AIM messages, or faxes to progress. This made it so the player could only get so far in the game before having to wait for a sort of cooldown. In the meantime, players were encouraged to explore different websites to gain more knowledge on the game's story and conspiracies. The game also had pre-filmed clips to make it look like webcam conversations between characters. At the time, some critics bashed the game for its cheesy acting.
Top secret. Oh, for Pete's sakes, Kyle, would you be careful how you handle that stuff? Oh, sorry. Listen, Kyle. Put that stuff back in the folder, okay? I want you to take
Wow.
it down.
Where are you?
I'm in Japan. Now get that stuff down to Pete.
Japan? Really? So cool.
Kyle, listen to me. I want that stuff scanned. I want it sent to me as soon as possible. Do you understand me?
Okay, I'll get it to the guy in...
Hold on. どうぞいらっしゃい。これ開いてますよ。
You speak Japanese?
すいません。待ってくれますか？すいません。
Who's that?
Never mind. I want you to get that.
Majestic learned the lines of game and life by not only redirecting users to websites made by EA to search for clues, but other real-world websites. The most notable was an FBI page about Majestic 12. This coupled with the fact that some of the users on AIM are other actual players, allowing players to interact with each other, give clues or mislead. The game had approximately 71,200 players, but out of those, only roughly 15,000 paid for the monthly subscription of $9.99 a month. In the screenshot, you can see the allies list, which was a mix of actual players and in-game players, which were bots. The game's progression was based around a series of puzzles and mysteries that required players to search the web and talk to characters via AIM to figure out clues. Once a player solved the mystery for the day, they'd be on a standby phase where progression was blocked. The purpose was so players wouldn't rush through the game and left them time to search the web for more information on different topics in-game. This allowed so the game could be part of the user's schedule, as you'd have to wait for a message, fax, or phone call the next day in order to progress. Users set time they wanted to be contacted at. They were also encouraged to tell others who lived with them in the same home that the game sends messages in order to not cause panic. There was a feature in the game that users could enable so that before every call, fax, and message they were warned that it was from the game Majestic and not real. The events of September 2001 made EA choose to suspend activity of the game for a week given the nature of the material of Majestic. The game was permanently shut down April 30th, 2002 because of too few players. Majestic is an interesting time capsule of a game that is long forgotten. Finding any footage of the game being played is near impossible. If you guys made it through the video and watched it, I want to thank you guys so much. Please consider subscribing. 91% of the people who watch these videos aren't subscribed, so I'd really appreciate it if you could, subscribe. And also like the video. If not, it's cool, but if you did that, it'd be pretty lit. Alright, I'm the KyloRylo. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Swag swag. Yeah.